How much does production actually cost? And the frustrating answer online is usually, it depends. So instead of being vague, I'm actually going to give you real ranges, at least from my experience, and I'll explain what they're actually paying for. A lot of artists will either wildly underestimate costs or overpay without fully understanding the value. And most producers don't really talk about numbers publicly. So let's just make it practical. These aren't industry averages from a random blog. These are real world ranges that I see and talk about with artists in real sessions. So I think an easy way to think about it is within 3 tiers. Tier number 1, I would say, is anywhere from the $300 to $800 range. This is usually newer producers, friends of friends, those kind of scenarios. And I would say within this, you might get basic production, a light mix with limited revisions, and there's nothing wrong with this tier at all. It's often where relationships start. When I was around 18, I was just getting my feet wet in production and mixing, and really had no real grid at all for what artists typically pay. And so I remember my first project that I ever landed was with a super sweet friend, and she didn't have a crazy budget. I didn't know what budget to charge her, so I think I quoted her $900. But here's the kicker, it was for 12 songs. I brought this to my mentor at the time, and I was like, man, I just landed my first paid project. I'm so pumped. I'm gonna make almost $1,000. And he's like, that's crazy. Like, tell me a little bit about it. And I was like, yeah, it's with this friend. She's like super talented. The songs are awesome. I'm like really excited about it. It's 12 songs. And he's like, it's 12 songs for $900. You're making $75 a song. Yeah, when you break it down like that, it's not great. I really had no grasp on how long it would even take to produce a song, and so I was just stoked to make any amount of money at all. My point in telling that story is when you're getting going or you're trying to build relationships within the industry, I think that it is totally okay to approach it as an investment rather than a profitable endeavor, especially if you're a younger producer that's really just getting going. It can take a lot of the pressure off too if you go into it with friends, and if they can pay you a little bit of money, that's awesome. But really, I mean, the first even few years of trying to dive deep into this stuff, I would just view that as a time of investment. It's okay to not make a lot of money. It's okay to not charge a lot of money. As an artist, it's also okay to not have a lot of budget yet. I think knowing where you're at and just trying to use the tools that you have is a totally okay place to be and to start. This is where most independent producers live. And I would say 80 to 90% of my work is within this range. And I've been producing for around 12 years. I have 300-ish plus producer cuts. And I've kind of learned that this is a totally reasonable range to live in. This is a range that feels palatable for artists. Even if they don't have this money on hand, it feels like a number that is tangible and raisable through crowdfunding or even just simply saving for a year or two for a project. And as a producer, charging this much, it feels totally livable. It feels like I'm getting paid for my time, but I know I'm not ripping off my friends. And also, if I make X amount of songs per year in this range, I know that I can plan for these things in my life, and it just kind of starts to help the puzzle pieces fit together a little better. And so within this tier, I would say that these are some things that are expected and included within that. This is going to be full scope production. An artist can bring me a song, I will help them dream it up, I'll connect the dots for musicians and arrangement, and we will figure out how to make this thing happen together. Depending on the exact budget that will land, this could even include mix and master. So at this level, you're really paying for experience, expertise, and speed in making creative decisions. Now in this final tier, you're paying for all of those things in tier 2, but now there's just a little more attached to that. You're paying for proven credits, so this could be a producer or mixer that has proven credibility with bands or artists that are already in your lane or what you're aiming for. This could also be interesting for people that are trying to form more label level relationships or growing their network in that way. And another reason would be brand alignment, that like-minded people that are doing the thing you want to do, it makes sense that you would want to be around them. And this is just a starting range for the tier 3 kind of label level production. This tier can go much, much higher. But remember, price doesn't automatically equal the right fit. When artists look at a production fee, they often think that they're paying for hours, but you're not paying for hours, you're actually paying for decisions. I heard this a while ago, and I can't fully remember where exactly it came from or who came up with this idea, but the idea is good, fast, cheap. Basically, you can have 2 of these, but you can never have 3. You can have fast and good, but it's not going to be cheap. You can have cheap and fast, but it's not going to be good. Or you can have cheap and good, but it's not going to be fast. So how do you know what's right for you? So if you're early, you might not need the most expensive option yet, but you do probably need someone that understands your vision. So instead of leading with how much, you can start asking, so as an artist, instead of asking how much, you can start asking what's included, what does your process look like, how involved are you? Or a big obvious one, do we like the same kinds of music? Production pricing isn't a secret, it's just nuanced. The right producer should feel like a partner, not a service. And if you're a producer watching this, know that transparency builds trust. And if you're an artist, understanding value helps you make better decisions. If you want more honest conversations about production and the business behind it, that's part of what I cover here. So smash that subscribe button! What if I was one of those?
But it's like you're chill the whole time.
Yeah, and then I just like snap into this thing. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. We'll talk more about this stuff in the future. See you next time. Peace.